Morning guys, it's Mark. I'm going to show you today I'm going on another hike. Separate video though on my camp stove issue. So like I said last time, I really didn't want to carry a bunch of rocket fuel. So I'm going to show you kind of a creative option that I've come up with, and I think it's going to work well.
So I've made two options here. I don't know if you can see. Let's turn. Here we go. Okay, so this is a buddy stove, and I've got a couple different designs here. This is also a little stove by Esbit, made in Germany, as you can see there. And all it is a little kind of steel, galvanized steel bracket, and you set the pot on top of it like so. And so now I can take my buddy burner, and there's lots of videos online about how to build these, but basically it's rolled up corrugated cardboard. And I think I could even do it tighter than this. I might get another Altoids tin and try to do a better version. I think with a little masking tape I could hold them tight and then put a bunch more in there. These act as the wick and absorb paraffin wax. And you light them up, and then it burns as a pretty solid piece of fuel. I boil water in this pot in about 8.5 minutes. Gets a nice rolling boil. It's actually a pretty big flame. The good news about this design is as soon as I'm done, I flip it closed. I thought I was gonna like this design better, which was an all-in-one stove, and I just drilled a bunch of holes as a diffuser. This actually burned way too well. I couldn't put it out, so I got started and then went to go put the lid on it, and the flame, this was all so hot, and the flame was so hot, and the canister had swelled, and I couldn't get the lid on. So now I got this big shooting flame with bubbling, boiling wax, and couldn't get the lid on it. You can see it's pretty tight, and yeah, it turned out to be kind of an issue. Ended up having to put the pot over it to smother it, but not ideal. It could work though on, you know, if you just do like that on the way. If you don't want to buy this $10 little stove, I guess that would work fine. But this just seemed to be a little cleaner. You can see on this one I get char all over my hands. On the Altoids can, flip it closed, hit it once, it's closed, and I can pick it up by the lid and I get no char. Put it into the pot, everything fits into the pot. This folds up, and I'm on my way. So that goes there, that goes there. This works with paraffin wax. I used this stuff, just unscented paraffin wax, and I melted it into my wife's, she's got a little Scentsy thing, just to make it easier to carry. As this is burning down, you can just take one of these out and drop it in here to refill it. I don't know yet how long this is going to go on this wax, but I'll do a follow-up video on this. I think it's going to take a long time. I decided to go ahead and show you what this looks like here at the house. Might as well just have the breakfast here. It's pretty windy this morning. Takes a minute to get going. It kind of starts out as a bit of a candle flame, but within a few seconds you'll see the wax starts to melt. It actually it looks empty right now of wax, but as the heat gets going, you'll see the wax kind of inside of there heats up and liquefies and kind of fills the tin. It actually might have a little too much wax in it right now. Like I said, you can just drop a little ball of wax in there to kind of recharge it, and it melts pretty much right away, and then you just close the lid after you're done cooking. So you see this going now, it's about half lit, but let it get started. Put this on, boil some water. Yeah, it's coming. There we go. Boil some water, and we'll get some oatmeal going and some coffee, and get
Okay, a little update on this. Some of the wax you can see here is leaking out, and I think because it's so windy, the wax is actually just kind of getting sloshed over the side. Like I said, I think there's actually a little too much wax in this, but I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. Maybe a flaw with my can design. Maybe I need one without a hinge lid, but I'll show you the benefit of that now. The water's actually hot enough. It's been about 6 minutes. Gonna move this over here. And the benefit to having this as a hinge lid is I can just shut it down like that with one finger, and no big deal. Fires out, I can let that cool now and pack it back up and be on the trail. So I'm gonna have a little oatmeal, a little coffee, and but that's how the stove works. It by the time I'm done with my coffee, it'll be ready to go back in the pack. I'll just show you what I'm eating here. That's coffee. It's got everything, sugar and creamer. It doesn't have much. It's pretty light cream. It's pretty much dark coffee with a little sugar in it. And then, but it's powdered milk. It's all in one. So you just pour that in and you're done with your coffee. And then this is a microwavable meal. I'm experimenting with these because they're so much cheaper. But it was fine. I just poured a little boiling water in it, and it was absolutely lovely. And these are about $1 at the grocery store versus a backpackers oatmeal thing, which ends up being like $5 a pop. It's kind of silly. Anyways, this seems to be a pretty good way to go for the trail.